Hi everyone, I'm Daniela and today we're making crostoli. In Italy, these are served for Carnevale, which is just before Lent, but you can often find them throughout the Lent period. And my nonnas always had them on every holiday table.
I'm mixing my dough by hand, so I'm taking off my rings so that nothing gets trapped underneath. I'm using 1 cup, 125 grams of flour. Pour that onto your work surface. Using your hand or the bottom of the bowl, make a well in the center of the flour. Into the bowl, crack 1 egg. Then add in 1 tablespoon, 12 grams of sugar, 1 tablespoon, 15 grams of melted butter, half a teaspoon, about 2 grams of brandy.
Traditionally, you'd use grappa in this recipe, but my nonna always just used the juice of an orange. But alternatively, you could use brandy or whiskey or even white wine.
Half a teaspoon, 2 grams of vanilla, and a pinch of salt. Whisk it up with a fork. Pour your wet ingredients into the well of the flour. Then slowly using a fork or your fingers, start to incorporate the inner ring of the flour to the wet ingredients. This is exactly the same process as making pasta, just the ingredients are slightly different. While you still have a lot of liquid in the center, you want to make sure not to break down the walls of the flour. Now that the wet ingredients have become more firm with the addition of the flour, you can break down the walls of your well and start incorporating it all together. It looks like there's too much flour at this point, but trust the process. Gently start to knead the dough, incorporating that flour further. And I'm just using plain flour, but you could use all-purpose or tipo 00 for this recipe. The easiest way to knead this dough is to push it away with your palm and then fold it back over onto itself. Turn the dough slightly every time you do this motion. Now all of the flour has been absorbed, but you can see the dough still has this pitted look on the top. We need it to be smoother than that, so we're going to knead it for another few minutes. Our dough is nice and smooth, and when you press into the top, it bounces up, which means those glutens are really activated and we need to let it rest.
You can easily mix this dough in a food processor or a stand mixer, but I'm showing you by hand because it's just that easy. And let's be honest, my nonna didn't have a KitchenAid.
Cover yours up with a bowl or wrap it in some cling film and set it aside for about 30 minutes. You'll know your dough is ready to work with when you press your finger down into the middle of it and it doesn't come back up straight away. I'm cutting my dough into 4 pieces. I'll start with 1 piece and pop the other 3 back under the bowl so they don't dry out. And just like making pasta, I'm going to pat this down into a rectangular shape. You want to try and get the dough as thin as possible before the first pass through in the pasta machine. Dust the dough with flour so that it doesn't stick. When you're rolling out your dough, start on the widest setting on your pasta machine. I like to roll through the wider settings at least twice, and then once I get down at least 3 or 4 settings, I only pass it through once. If your dough starts to feel a little bit sticky, give it a light dusting with some flour. Continue rolling until you're at the thinnest setting on your pasta maker. This is the thickness you're looking for. Can you see how you can just see my fingers through the dough? Now that all of my dough has been rolled out, I'm using a pizza cutter to cut out my crostoli shape. If you have one of the fancy serrated edge cutters, you can use that as well, or even a knife will work. Cut your crostoli into 1 to 2 inch pieces. Once you've cut each piece of crostoli, using a knife or your pizza cutter, cut about a 1-inch slice in the center of each piece of dough. To make the traditional crostoli shape, you want to spread that piece that we've sliced in the middle and then tuck one end of the dough through that middle piece. Then gently tug each end until you've got this lovely little curl. When they're fried, they'll look like bows. Do this with all of your crostoli before they dry out. If you have any little spare bits of dough, they're perfect for testing if your oil is hot enough. You'll want to fill your pan with about 1 inch of oil and bring the temperature up to about 170 degrees Celsius or 340 degrees Fahrenheit. Once you've dropped your test dough piece into the oil, it should fry up on one side in about 30 seconds. Give it a flip for another 30 seconds. If it comes out a light golden color, your oil is the right temperature. Carefully add your crostoli pieces to your oil, always adding it into the hot oil away from you. After 30 seconds, give them a flip and wait another 30 seconds.
You only need to fry these for 30 seconds on each side. Any more than that, and your crostoli will be bitter and burnt.
You'll want to keep an eye on the temperature of your oil because it will fluctuate as you add in more crostoli and once you take them out again. Once your crostoli are this beautiful light golden color, remove them to a draining rack. I like to put a paper towel under mine just to absorb any excess oil. When you're ready to serve, give your crostoli a healthy dusting of powdered or icing sugar. These are best enjoyed while they're still warm or on the day of frying. This recipe makes about 50 crostoli.
And while you've got the oil out, why not try making my zeppole? They only take 9 minutes and they are amazing. Thank you so much for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button down below. While you're there, make sure to subscribe because I come out with a new video every week. See you next time!